Welcome to the Trumpet Prof channel, bringing you trumpet education at a much higher level. I'm Paul Mays, and this channel is for advanced players and teachers looking for a deeper understanding of the trumpet and how to take their playing to the next level. You'll find tutorials and lectures on a whole range of trumpet related topics, so please consider subscribing, but also get involved with the channel. Leave me a question, a comment, or any thoughts that you might have about these videos, because that way we can really focus on helping you play the way you really want to play. As this is the first Trumpet Prof video, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my approach to trumpet education, my teaching philosophy, and how I think it can help you take your playing and your students' playing to the next level. So I'd like to start by sharing something with you, and it's something that I genuinely believe to be true. In fact, I have several very good reasons for believing this, although I don't necessarily expect you to believe it right away. You can develop the ability to do absolutely anything you want to do on the trumpet. Absolutely anything. And here's why. You have lips, lungs, teeth, and a tongue, just like the very best players on the planet. Assemble those parts the right way, and you can build an absolute Ferrari of a trumpet engine, capable of doing anything. Let's think about learning the trumpet like learning to drive. There's you and there's the car, often not a Ferrari. With practice, you can learn to do amazing things in your car. You could learn to handbrake turn. You could learn to parallel park with your eyes shut. You could learn to drive on two wheels, whatever it might be. I'm not saying that you should do any of those things, by the way. But the one thing you'll never do, however hard you try, however much you practice, is make your car go faster. Once your foot is firmly to the floor, once that accelerator is all the way down, you won't make your car go any faster, however much you practice. Your car has a top speed, and no amount of practice is going to change that. Now, as the driver of the trumpet, you can also learn to do amazing things. You can learn to triple tongue. Learn to double tongue. Use vibrato. Maybe change the timbre of the sound. Play in different styles. Whiz around the trumpet like an acrobat. Whiz around the trumpet like an acrobat. All of those things you can do with practice. But the one thing you'll never do after a while, however much you practice, however hard you try, is play higher. The trumpet needs an engine. We call it the embouchure. Build a Ferrari and you have all the endurance, all the range, all the ability you could ever want. Your engine is your potential. You have the parts. Design them the right way for you, and you can do anything on the trumpet. So, what do you want to do on the trumpet? What are your trumpet dreams? Maybe you want to be a professional player. Maybe you want to be an international soloist. Or do something amazing technically on the trumpet that has never been done before. Or just do something better. Whatever you want to do, I would love to know, because I would really love to help you get there. And I would love to get to know the Trumpet Prof community better, so we can make you part of these videos. As a young player at school, my dreams were to play principal trumpet with the London Symphony Orchestra, after hearing the late great legendary Maurice Murphy. Then on holiday in 1981, I remember seeing my first James Bond movie, For Your Eyes Only. The trumpet playing on that was just phenomenal. I'd never heard anything like it. I went back to school and I would talk to my teachers and say, it was incredible. That's how I want to play. That's what I want to do. And they would say to me, keep practicing, work hard, do what your teachers tell you, and you can do anything on the trumpet. But that's not true. It doesn't work like that on the trumpet. When I was 25 years old, I was working in a factory 4 days a week. My trumpet dreams were long gone. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would go and do an 8-hour shift. We'd go home in the afternoon and do some practice. Well, I say I would do some practice. It was more playing out of desperation, trying to find answers that really weren't there. My parents had given me a wonderful trumpet education. 4 years at the Junior Royal Academy of Music, 4 years at the Senior Royal Academy of Music. I was a good player. In fact, some may say I was a fantastic player. But then, so were hundreds of others. And I think we all had the same problem. We just needed to fill in the few final pieces that would make all the difference. You see, that's the hardest thing to do, because trumpet pedagogy really isn't advanced enough to take care of that. So, how did I get from working in a factory to recording my first James Bond soundtrack, Skyfall, at Abbey Road Studios? How did I get to sit in the seat of my idol Maurice Murphy and play guest principal trumpet with the London Symphony Orchestra? How did I get to achieve my schoolboy dreams? Well, there was only one option left, and that was to work it out for myself. Now, maybe some of you are in the same place as I was, and it's a frustrating place to be, I know, because you've done as much practice as anyone else. You've done the Maggio and the stamp and the daily routines, and they have helped, but you're still not playing the way you really want to play. You look around and see the very best players, and they make it look so easy, and maybe you wonder why you can't do it that way. You see, you've already proved to yourself that practice isn't the problem. So why can some do it and others can't? That's down to the engine. So if you want to take your playing to the next level, you're going to have to focus on your engine and make some changes. But that doesn't mean that you need to take 6 months off playing or anything. I know that you're already advanced players. You have commitments, so I appreciate that. So let's first look at the parts of your engine, the major components, and I call these the physical 12. We can see them here. Some of these parts come in all shapes and sizes. Everyone is different. And that's why I've had to develop a few systems of playing. But we won't get into that right now. So you can see there are literally hundreds of possible configurations. And then when you have configured them, there are numerous ways of driving them and controlling them. There's your mouthpiece, the cup size, the back bore, the rim size. All of these things will interact with your physical system in a different way, some better than others. And the trumpet, of course, with its lead pipe and bore size, again, just balances things differently. So there is so much to think about, so much to consider, and you have to think about it if you want to take your playing to the very highest level. That's what I had to do. You can do it too. You just have to do it the right way. I'm not trying to scare you off with that, but I want you to realize that you're building a system, and it's a complex system where everything affects everything. With so many variables and different configurations, you're probably thinking, how on earth am I going to find the right one for me? But that's where physics comes in. And having just a little bit of knowledge about the trumpet and how it works will give you a golden set of principles which will guide you. You see, it's those principles that will take away the guesswork, and you'll be able to refer to them in any matters of trumpet technique. What do you know about the trumpet? If you're anything like I was when I left music college, you probably don't know too much. But that seems ridiculous to me now, looking back. The amount of time I spent practicing the trumpet, trying to sort out my problems. I didn't actually know what was going on inside the instrument. I could have saved myself so much time. This is a vibrating system. It's a resonating system. And it's worth understanding what resonance is. The amplitude of a forced vibration increases when the period of the vibration reaches that of the vibrating system. A bit of a mouthful, I agree. But basically what that means is this has built-in resonance. There, we can hear it there. That's the air inside the trumpet vibrating at built-in frequencies. Now, they are set. You can't move them. The trumpet is stubborn. Tell us something we don't already know. Your lips are vibrating too. So in effect, there are two frequencies in play. Now, when the speed of my lips reaches the speed of the vibrating system, the resonance of the vibrating system, then things start to get a little bit louder. And if I can get my lips to vibrate exactly the same speed as the trumpet wants to play at, then I will have maximum resonance. I will also have maximum efficiency. So as the two coincide, it gets louder. So how can we get the lip to vibrate at the same speed as the air inside the trumpet? Well, the best way to do that is to try to let the trumpet guide your lip. Try to let the instrument move your lip at the same speed that it is moving, because it will do that if you let it. And then you will have maximum resonance. You can listen out for that when you slur up the harmonic series, because you'll know, especially as you get a little bit higher, whether the notes are actually clicking into place or whether there's just a little bit of a smear between them, whether there's a little bit of a gliss. That's when you're getting involved. If you're totally relaxed, you'll hear those clicks all the way up. Now, I haven't got my instrument mic on at the moment, but I'm going to try and demonstrate it. Hopefully it won't be too loud. Listen out for the clicks, especially as we get higher. So that's what you're listening out for, and that's a good indication of how efficiently you're playing a especially in the upper register. When I say I worked it out for myself, now you know what I mean. It took time and it took patience and it took a lot of experimentation, a lot of research, a lot of development. But that's what you're going to have to go through if you want to get to that level as a player. So the question you should be asking now is, how do I know it's going to work for me? You should ask this question a lot more. You need to be selfish as a student because you could spend your life trying different techniques out and different systems out. Do your research. So I'd like to show you a video of some of my students, and they're all at different stages, different levels of their development, different levels of ability. Some only practice a few hours a week. Some have only been playing for a few years. But they helped me to develop these systems. And they all have really powerful engines. All those players are playing for fun. You're advanced players. You want to go further. You want to take your playing to the highest possible level and achieve your dreams. So how far can you go? Before we finish, I want to tell you about one more student. Her name is Lucy Humphries, and she came to me when she was 13 years old. And during the first lesson I said to her, I said, Lucy, what do you want to do on the trumpet? What are your aspirations? And she immediately said, full of enthusiasm, I want to be a soloist. Now, I'm all for dreaming big and setting the bar high, but on the trumpet, it takes more than just belief and working hard. As important as those two things are, you need more. If I want to drive at 150 miles an hour and I'm sitting in a Volkswagen Polo, I can believe in myself, I can believe it will happen, and I can practice as much as I want. We all know that that car will not move at 150 miles an hour. So the first thing you have to do, you have to prioritize building your engine. So that's what we did with Lucy. And then we built a strategy. To cut a long story short, an 8-year story actually, Lucy performed as a recitalist at this year's International Trumpet Guild conference in June. An amazing achievement. Here's a clip of her playing some Bach. Of course, it takes a long time and a lot of patience to achieve a dream like that. But you have to build a strategy. You have to know how you're going to get to where you want to be and take it step by step. And it really begins with your engine, developing your engine. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I had several very good reasons for believing anything is possible. My journey from the factory floor to performing on Skyfall and many, many other film soundtracks. Failing an audition to become a student at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London, and then several years later becoming Professor of Trumpet there. Students that play for fun, but demonstrate advanced ability and have huge potential. Resonance, just one way that I use science to develop my teaching methods and systems. And a student with a seemingly impossible dream who believed in herself and believed in her teacher and became an international trumpet soloist. So What do you want to do on the trumpet? I'm the Trumpet Prof. See you next time.